All right, so if you want to submit a take for Spencer's scale of agreement, YouTube comments, Twitter's more reliable way. Become a Locked On Ducks insider, the ultimately reliable way. You get priority access, a bunch of other perks as well. But how it works, and I'm having fun, you're all having fun, that's what we're trying to do here. You submit a take, I tell you 1 to 10 how much I agree with it. 10 being maximum, 1 being minimum, and every now and then I'll throw out a 0 if you say something truly outlandish, but that doesn't really happen. So, Rear Duck sends this one in. It's like the word rear and then a duck emoji. Anyway, it works. My submission for the next SSA. Luke Moga will have multiple rushing touchdowns in 2025. Oh my goodness. I love it. This is art when it comes to mailbag questions and takes for Spencer's scale of agreement. Because if there are 2 niche items I would like to attach myself to as an Oregon podcaster in this space, number 1, I am chair of the Amari Washington fan club. No one shall take that title from me ever. Not going to happen. Number 2, I want Luke Moga to run the football this year because Dante Moore and Austin Novosad might be the least mobile quarterback that Oregon has had. I mean, Jeff Locke could move a little. Prukop didn't run a ton. I feel like I'm missing somebody that really didn't have mobility as a part of his game. And Novosad's not a complete statue, but he's making throws from the pocket. He's not. Dante Moore has a better arm than Novosad and a quicker release, but I mean, Novosad still has a really good arm, of course, and a good release. But Moore's is quicker, a little bit better arm. Moore does have a little bit more mobility. Neither one of those guys is a runner, and this is the first year since Will Stein came over to be Oregon's offense coordinator from UTSA. He's going into year 3. This is the first time he has had a quarterback I describe as not someone you draw up runs for. Now, in an RPO-heavy scheme, you don't have to have a mobile quarterback. I will point out that one of the biggest plays of the season last year was a quarterback run on an RPO against Ohio State. The last touchdown Oregon scored in that game was a 22-ish yard touchdown scamper by Dylan Gabriel. He reads the whole thing perfectly. It's poetry in motion. He's one-on-one with the safety, makes him miss, and then runs to the end zone. Dante Moore can pull that ball and run for the first down. I don't know that he runs for a touchdown in that spot. That's not his game. So, multiple rushing touchdowns in 2025. There are 2 ratings I want to give this particular take. There's the rating that I think is actually appropriate, and then there's the rating I want it to be. I want this to be a 9. I really, really do. And not just as a way to keep Luke Moga in Oregon's quarterback room, because when you go and put the sorts of throws that he did on tape during the spring game, you're going to draw at least some attention from other programs, and you don't have to start a game at a major school. You just have to have been there to get an opportunity to play somewhere else. Like, perfect example. If San Diego State, or here, I'll give you another one. If UNLV does not, I don't remember if the guy they got, Anthony Colandrea, I think is his name, the transfer from Virginia. I don't remember if he has any eligibility left beyond this year. We're gonna find that out though, just for the sake of. Okay, he does. So he's a sophomore. Let's say, for instance, he starts this year for UNLV, and then goes to the NFL draft, and UNLV is looking for a quarterback. They would at least consider somebody like Luke Moga, who's been a backup at a big program like Oregon for the last couple of years, to come in and get a chance to start because of his physical traits and the progress that he showed from one spring game to the next. And we don't know what he would do next year in that particular setting. But I want this level of agreement to be a 9. I'm putting it at a 6, just to be clear. I really don't think this is crazy. And I don't think it's gimmicky either. I mean, Texas was in the semifinal last year in the playoff. They brought in Arch Manning all the time. Now, that might have been at least a partial way to convince him to stick around. I don't know that that urgency is there just yet with regards to Luke Moga, or that, Oregon has to look at him and say, well, that's our only option to start next year. We got to keep him around. Georgia tried to do this with Justin Fields when he was on the Bulldogs. They made the playoff. They put him in, kid you not, Kirby Smart did this, put him in on a fake punt. They snapped it to him, and it was snuffed out. Oh, wow. Tell me your 5-star backup quarterback wasn't on special teams because he's a great special teams player? Oh, who could have seen that coming? Anyway, I think they did that. You see schools do that stuff in order to get a guy on the field and send a clear message to him and sometimes his camp, especially nowadays. Hey, we're going to play you next year, and we want to get you just some experience so it's not brand new. I don't think you have to do that with Luke Moga, but I want to see it happen. So I'm giving this a 6 because you'll have some mop-up opportunities perhaps where he goes in and runs the ball. But I don't think putting him in for a Wildcat spot is crazy, especially down in the red zone where numbers get difficult. The quarterback run has been a huge weapon for Oregon over the last several years. Gabriel in some key spots, he ran the speed option against Oregon State for a long touchdown. Bo Nix was a master of the quarterback sneak. It's been at least a feature or a part of the offense in some capacity over the last several years, and it's just not going to be as much of a look. And so if you have a guy back there and Dante Moore is a runner and a backup in Austin Novosad who's even less of a runner, then yeah, it might make sense to take a guy who is freakishly athletic and just from time to time, just snap him the ball. Put him back there with any running back, frankly, and it can work, but, give me a special goal line package. Like Chip Kelly back in 2012 used to put in Brian Bennett and Colt Lyerla in the red zone. He had Marcus Mariota, but he didn't want to injure Marcus Mariota. Well, I don't want to injure any of Oregon's top 2 quarterbacks running, and Luke Moga, not that I want him to get hurt, but like he's going to be, more well prepared to go into those situations, take some contact, and know how to protect himself because he's always been more of a runner, going back to his high school days. Dante Moore and Austin Novosad, not so much. They'll sit in the pocket and slice and dice and then make some throws on the run. So I'd be super, super down for this. You give me a 2nd and goal from the 5, put Moga in there. You give the defense something else to think about. And you also have an ability, like running quarterbacks having specialized packages, not a new concept in college football. And I think given the state of Oregon's lack of mobility in the quarterback room on the ground, I think it's totally possible. So give me a 6. I want it to be a 9 just because when we have seen Luke Moga run, he's so freakishly athletic. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'd love to see it. I think it can work, and I don't think it's crazy, so I'll put a 6 on it. Keep the questions coming. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.